I check out the spirits link. It talks about the spirits that I've got contained within me. Um, as far as the psychic thing, I've got this thing called the wish gene, where people could actually wish me to go to the grocery store or something, and it wouldn't happen right away, maybe, but given some time, I'd get there, and it would usually be to commence some sort of interaction with somebody that was waiting for me in a sort of a almost explicit format, explicit active format. Um, um, One sec. One day I'm playing softball and I hit 2 home runs in one game, and I've never hit a home run before or since. And I think it was because they were hoping that I would crank one or a couple over the fence. It was kind of like a group collaboration of hope that I would just crank one over the fence, and I did it twice in one game. So I didn't, I didn't think much of it at the time, but then in hindsight, when you look back and you go, oh, that was them doing that to me. Cool. I just need people to pray for me, and next thing you know, I can be awesome. It's that's kind of how it works. It's prayer. It's a prayer concept, hope, prayer, and next thing you know, I can be more than the average person. I've always had an active mind. It was it was it sort of sucked because I remember annoying my friends, whoever, uh, at a movie or something. It's like, well, so what happened? What happened? Because I'd be daydreaming or something during the middle of the movie. There's just the things were going on in my mind, and that may be what the medication is for, but 20 years later, that's what I need the medication for. But at the time, it was pretty annoying because I had trouble, like, maybe focusing concentration wise, um, on movies, especially movies. I couldn't read much. I wasn't much of a reader because I'd always tangent off. I'd take their story and I would tangent off and have my own world of make believe going on in my own mind. Um, but sometimes I think back and I think that some of that imagination I got going on is actually a psychic thing. I'm seeing things that are perhaps happening, and this is in hindsight now. I think that I may have been remote viewing or something, not just imagining, but actually remote viewing things that are going on. Um, so the thing, it was when in '99, right on January '99, in which I started uh, having these thoughts that I had a babe list. I had some of these ladies were waiting for me. So I psychically, I, I was actually getting this stuff from late night TV. I was getting it from Jay Leno and Conan O'Brien and other shows, David Letterman. The things were on there. They were putting up almost twins of ladies of my past. Uh, Lisa Ling is like a twin for this Ling Lee, or this lady that was in college, and other references that were very close to looking to these ladies. And so it was sort of a psychic collaboration. It was like I was having these, and I'm typing in emails to look at the email correspondence that I'm having, but I'm putting in these ladies that I assume are coming into my mind, and some of them would show up on TV, some of them would be in my mind, and it would just be people of the past. It's coming full circle, and then Celine Dion's one of them. She's kind of running the group. She sponsors her own money so that she could uh, uh, have one of my kids, and anyways, this circle of babes is to have my baby, I guess. And I'm psychically becoming aware of these people, and like I said, a little collaboration on TV of who these ladies are. And I did these 42 ladies, I guess there's 42 of them, and I did it in 3 days, and they were just so impressed. I sent out the full list in an email to, I think, either Nathan Lehman or to Quincy Taylor. And they were so impressed. They were envisioning, I have it written here, they're envisioning this assembly stud line in hopes of baby banging me so often that I needed to be fed intravenously. Of course, this would be the thought process before we found out that I could create magic babies, the Immaculate Conception idea. Now they'll spare me the 15 minutes for me to eat conventionally. So these experiments would continue for quite a while, and I would email Nathan Lehman. About 400 messages in all to Nathan, and you can see that corresponds to another link. There's this thing I call a psychic phone call. What it was, see if I can project this in ways. Let me think how I can project this so you can understand. It would be like this rush of energy. What it would be a lady who would call me up to say, hey, I'm going to be your wife. I want to have your baby. Okay, so put me on the list. And the way it would occur is, it was just like, I suppose if you were to see me visually, it would occur, it'd be like, the eyes would open up wide. It'd be like an energy coming in, and then it would settle, and then it would be like, okay, this is lady. And a lot of them were from the damn TV here. These ladies that Jay Leno or Conan is interviewing, they would be a wife, and they would call me up as the TV. They would tell her. I'm assuming they would. By the way, I considered it to be very real at the time, but I'm assuming they coordinated it such that when I saw it, they would have the real person give me a psychic phone call. And so that's how that worked. And I really believed this in 99. I believed everything in 99. When 99 didn't happen, and these ladies were not manifesting anything real, except for just, for me, it's just a tired penis from masturbating because of this foreplay thing that was going on. I realized that I need to treat these things as prank phone calls. It didn't occur much, a little bit in 2000, and I realized that I just need to put it off the hook, take the phone off the hook so that I don't need to work. And it occurred again 2002, I think, when, like, I thought I keep thinking this show is going to end, and it seems like the ladies would start calling up right about that time. And so, and then again, like 2005, it started. I was just like, it would just occur once or twice, and I was just like, I don't know what some of these things are and why they occur. But what I would do then, let me explain. When I got the phone call, I would psychically tell them, the people, my angels, I'd psychically tell them who the lady was. And so what was interesting is in like 2005 or 2006, when I got one of these prank ones, it was kind of a false alarm. I told them psychically, and they're like, hey, no, don't do that anymore. I don't know what happened, but, we're not doing that. So it wasn't just me that didn't want this to happen anymore. It's everybody. In fact, I think everybody's pretty frustrated in the fact that my show's not ending. And they're like, we don't want any more wives. We don't want to foreplay this guy anymore. So when I had this false alarm, they're like, no, we didn't do that. False alarm. We're not. Don't just put your phone off the hook. That's what was psychically coming into my mind. Oh, goodness. So again, oh, by the way, Katie Kirk, I guess, is interviewing these ladies one at a time. Let me see. She's part of the group, the Psychic Experiments. This is early '99. Let's see what. All right, so there'd be like part of the experiment would be like, you know, of course I'm getting lovey-dovey. I'm virtually kissing these ladies with my mouth on their cheek or something, right? They would feel it, right? And hug, or you know, I'd had the spiritual sex where I got to talk about that. I guess I'll talk about that right now. Right? Yeah. Okay. There's spiritual sex. What that is I get off. I sit here whacking off in the thought of somebody, and they would feel it. They would feel the energy, and they would actually probably have an orgasm too. It's I think an orgasm is actually a spiritual event more than the actual. I think you become more orgasmic once you're more spiritually in tune with your partner. So, so it's actually so what I could do with that is I could actually hook in myself to a full group. So I could I would just do this with my mind. It's kind of like magic. You just kind of tell, I'm going to hook in all these ladies, and then I'm going to get off, and all 42 of them, or whatever group they are all going to get off on this. And of course, I'd make Katie Kirk part of the group too, and and whoever else wants to join in. I think there's some psychiatrists that were taking part in this too. And so I'll just talk a little more about the spiritual sex. What I can also do is put my virtual hands around their body and caress their body, because there's more than just. So there's the sexual energy, which is me just getting off. So that's pretty basic. Now it can get more elaborate, in which I caress my virtual hands over around her body to get her stimulated, right? Touch her breast. It's just the full, all throughout her body. That would work. That would get her worked up. And then and I wouldn't have to physically move my hands. It would just be a mental thing where it is just like virtual hands all over. So you can understand that I'm not actually physically moving my hands. I was at a point where I could just mentally do it. But the physical part that I was actually doing was masturbating. But that wouldn't be right away necessarily. What I would do is get them all primed up, right? Caress them for a while and get them all primed up, and then I could masturbate to them so they could feel the energy, or I could actually use a virtual penis and actually it would actually insert into her vagina. A magic penis sort of thing. I'm assuming it's not like a dildo, it's like an invisible dildo that actually expands her vagina, and that she'll actually get the physical aspect of it. And I could even do a virtual me where she's actually could be riding on me, that I'm literally looking, that she's actually seeing me there. So there's always there's a lot of experiments that you can do that I was doing. Not you could do too, but you'd have to, the psychiatrist is right next door. I'm sure you let him know about that, and he'll give you some medication. So there would be full-on sex, whatever, and I guess it's really erotic. At least psychically. I'm having trouble making this reality, unfortunately, where I can actually. There's nothing to me like physical sex, so I'm afraid that I could only handle so much of that before I got tired of it. But on that, some more experiments. This there's this one I was trying to do. So with all these experiments, what I was also able to do was the following: is that I would just a little movie into their mind. So this be nothing physical, and it'd be very quick. It'd be a 1 second film of the following reenactment. The lady would throw me out like an all-star wrestler, slam me down on the ground, and then jump on top and ride me for all I'm worth, like a bronco. And I could transmit. So it'd be in a group of 42 lady or whatever the numbers is, 42 or whatever it is. I'd go for this lady, boom boom and boom boom and ride and it's over. And the next lady, boom boom ride and this would be pretty vivid, I guess. It was just to be a 1 second clip, and I guess it was pretty vivid to them. It was I don't think they were getting off to, but it was very vivid in their mind. the act. It's like, throw me up in here, slam me down, and ride me. So it's kind of a farce, right? It's kind of a funny thing, but so I'm going along, bouncing from one lady to another, and I guess Conan's giving a call to Katie Couric or something. Hey, what's going on in there? And for some reason, he thinks of me, and I think he got. Well, anyways, I'm bouncing along, and Nelson Conan shows up, and I did it to Conan accidentally. And the poor guy was virtually assaulted. What took 1 second for me is now a lifetime for him. So, that was interesting. That was a funny moment. There was a lot of funny stuff in '99. I gotta say, the whole experience was so foreplayed up. When I didn't get laid, come June or July of '99, I'm surprised I didn't freaking shoot myself. I was like, what the F is going on? How come, what the not F is going on? How come I'm not getting F'd? So, more stuff, there was, right before my morph, there's a CIA guy. There's a hit on me, right? And I'm upstairs by the kitchen window, and I could actually feel the scope. The CIA guy is playing with me. He's just targeting me. He's playing with me, and I could feel it going around, right. And he's set up to take out the guy that's, I guess, gonna actually fire at me, or something like that. But I could actually feel the rifle. That's occurred a few times in that level 1 journey. They could wave around. They could even say "pop" in their mind, and I would know when they fired. As they're not going to actually fire. This is weird. I mean, it seems so real that they were actually outside, and I couldn't see them because it's dark outside. That's the thing. They're in the trees. The house was a stakeout. Across the street was a stakeout. There was an apartment complex that was staked out. It was set up for marksmen to protect me. Pretty weird experience. That psychic, that whole thing was really that was quite a journey, I have to say, man. I gotta say, like I say, I wish I could turn this into a movie. It was really a phenomenal ride. I really enjoyed '99. Up the January through June of '99 was a ride. That was a fun ride. I didn't want it to end, and it did. It ended, and it ended abruptly. It was awful. It ended abruptly, in which I had to go back to work. I was like, work? What's work? I'm supposed to be running for president or something. I was like, what's going on? Earlier I said I would send off psychic messages to a group of people. Well, what we find out, well, okay, what we do is they'd have some people a little bit more psychic than others. So, let me see if I got a name here. Well, there'd be, what there would be is psychic comms. So there'd be like a group of 5 guys on duty, and they would be part of the comms. So if I send them a message, it would go to those 5, and they'd kind of like, we set it up magically wise so that they'd press a button and they would be in the loop. So they wouldn't have to like tell me they're coming online or anything. It would just be kind of an automatic thing. I'd set up with magic, right? There, a lot of things it's easy to set up that way. It's yeah, I'm sure psychiatrists would just love this video right here. Anyways, so I'm trying to remember one of the names of one of the guys in the Navy that ended up being on this group. He ended up being more. I can't remember his name though. Paradise. Paul. I think his first name is Paul. E.T. Paradise. Anyways, I guess he's got some better psychic abilities, so they'd find these people that are more gifted in that area, and they'd put them on this lineup. So, for like this babe list, when these ladies would call up about this psychic phone call thing, it would just be, it wouldn't tell everybody, it would be just them, and they would then relay the information off. So, we sort of set up comms. It's kind of like you talking this, and it would just go to 5 lines. 5 heads actually, and they would hear it, and then they could also talk to me, or there was some dude running this thing, in charge of the CIA or something project that was running this thing. I had a name for him. This one time, I'm on a plane ride, and this lady's sitting next to me, and calls me up, does a psychic phone call. She's right next to me. She calls me up, telling me that she's gonna be one of my babes, right? So I'm like, okay, let's initiate a little spiritual sex, right? So, and by the way, this takes some energy. This takes some energy to do this, especially for as long as I did it. But I just, like I was demonstrating how you can do it without even, and I wasn't masturbating. I just stand there and I could just visually penetrate her with just all of my mind. She was moaning. She was. I mean, it's like, like that, and she was sweating. By the time I was done with her, it was funny. But yet she couldn't admit that she was doing anything. And I said, hopefully it was good for you too, right? And she doesn't respond, and then it's just, it was, see the realism of the show wasn't much where she could say, yeah, I had an orgasm thanks to you. She couldn't say that. I wish she would have, because it would have meant a lot to me. But seeing the sweat drip down, it was funny. It was just a funny moment. There's a lot of fun in that year. Yeah, I think she had an orgasm, or she was damn close. Oh, another time. Well, one second. I'm so glad I wrote this stuff down, because it's funny. I forget some of this stuff. But there's this lady in a showbiz club for the IBM showbiz club. She was the main actress, and she wasn't I don't think she found me attractive, but she wanted to be part of that. She was one of the babes, and she wanted to be part of the ride, right? So I said, listen, she's not interested in me. She just wants to be part of the ride to fame and glory, right? And she got upset about that and punched me virtually in the nose. And I seriously, God, I had bloody crust in my nose, and nobody touched me physically. I had a freaking bloody, I had a bloody crust. It didn't come out blood here, but there was bloody crust. You pick your nose and there's crust up there. That was just the weirdest thing, man. At the time, it's like par for the course because I knew this thing was real. But I mean, when you think back, that was pretty freaky. Yeah, I had a stinging sensation when she punched me, and then later on the dry freaking blood. Weird ass, man. That was weird. And then I was just playing these. I didn't want her to be part of the group, and she's so pissed off. She'd be kicking me in the groin virtually, right? And I'd feel that, and I'd be like, oh. And at first, it was pretty painful. At first, I kind of started getting used to it after a while. But that's just something. Isn't that this brings back memories, man. Crazy lady. All right, so I was using spiritual sex as a prank for these type 6 ladies that are out there, or just so this one lady, as a joke, I initiated spiritual sex with her, probably just in my mind. I'm not sure if I masturbate, if I physically masturbated or anything, but it says here, I don't think she was happy with the experience. I think she reached out and scratched my face in her mind. I didn't feel anything, but a few hours later, I looked in the mirror, and there was a faint needle-point scratch down my cheek, similar to those that you see in those ghost scratching clips. Those little impressions you see. Yeah, that was for real. That was weird. That was a weird one. On sightings or something, or some of those ghost things where you see like a fine scratch. That's what I had on my face. This is after I felt her scratching my face. This showed up on my face. Didn't stay there long, but it was there for an hour or two or something like that. I remember in 2003, 2004, I said some of the freakiest games of bowling due to the split personality. And in bowling, of course, you get splits, and I'd have some of the freakiest, like frame, first, third, 7th, and 9th frame of 2 games in a row I'd have splits in the same frames in 2 games or something like that. It's just some freaky nights of splits going on. And this would be in correlation with my show because I have a split personality. This is kind of probably when I was sending out those SPD emails. And so what would cause these splits is the wish gene. People would wish that I would get splits, or they just were wondering. It'd be like almost I'm not sure. I got to follow the page here, but I'm not sure that's on this page. But what would happen is that they would set up a condition. It'd be like, okay, if he gets split in the 1st and 3rd frame, then he's got a split personality. That's what we're going to do. It's just a wish. We're going to make a conditional wish. Boom. If he's got this, and I get the split, I could see it in your face. Oh my God, he does have a split personality. And this would be pretty big. They would do this a lot. It would be like, okay, if he's this, then he'll go to the grocery store during these hours. And I mean, it would just be like the look on their faces when I would show up at a place, or something would a split would occur in bowling or something like that. The look on their face was like, wow. Well, I knew that they were gossiping about me somehow, and they were just going to figure me out. And it was so they could actually set conditions for the prayer. should talk about the sensations that I get in the body, like during when I kill somebody or blow off one of their fingers. Like if I blow off a finger, that's going to be pretty painful to them. But what I'll feel it in my arm, I feel it sort of in the extremities, not necessarily in the finger, but it'll be like in the extremities. Something that's more life-threatening will end up showing up in the heart area. It seemed like if it was more life-threatening, it would show up right here. I could feel the sensation here, and then the less vital it was of the organ that was blown off or whatever. I'm usually putting firecrackers in people's body parts and blowing them up. It would translate to the outer extremities. It's like a sensation, almost a little pulsing action, a little pulsing feeling. Also, I can feel I can feel when the ladies are earning for me to end this show so that they could be with me. It's kind of a heartbreak feel, in which you actually do feel it in the heart. Kind of a heartbreak or heartache or heartbreak, heartache. I ache for you. It actually feels right here in the heart. My senses coordinate very closely with that of John Edward, the psychic. I totally understand everything he's saying, and I'm guessing he's a legit psychic, based on the inferences that he mentions in his readings. I could be psychic with a stranger that I've never met, and I just don't know the person. But if I have met that person, then I can put a sort of a visual impression to that psychic thought that I'm issuing. It's kind of like if you've met somebody and you're just thinking, you've had times when you're just thinking of a conversation you'd have with somebody. It's kind of like that. You know who you're talking to. It's kind of a visual impression of you having a conversation with somebody. It's kind of like that. And imagine you having a conversation with a stranger that you've never met over a phone. Say in a phone call, you get off the phone with somebody that you haven't actually seen before, and then you have a conversation in your head with them. Similar to that, it's the same picture. You don't have a visual reference, but you know that there's a person you're talking to. It's that guy that was on the phone. It's very similar to that. So I don't need to know who they are, and I don't need to have met them. It's very similar to a phone call where you haven't met somebody, and you're talking to them. It's just you're having a conversation with them. And I will have to say that a lot of my website was written with the help of angels, the angel network, or people wanting me to talk about certain things on the website. So that was actually this entire website was with the help of a wish gene that said, we want you to talk about this. So I can write as well as a result of this. In fact, this video might be, I don't know if I mentioned a time reference on this video, but it's the 28th of, just turned midnight here, 28th of March, 2011. And I get the feeling that I'm supposed to hurry up and write this video. And as in coordination with that, I swear to God, they don't want me to play Poker Stars anymore because it's wasting too much time. So they've constantly got me losing. I'm getting such bad beats. I get good hands, and some guy's got the hand that beats me. I swear to God, it's all set up to piss me off. And I swear I won one time, and they didn't even give me the damn chips for the victory. And it's like Poker Stars is just telling me. So it's just like I can swear mentally I'm supposed to get going on this, but there's actually something real going on in which I'm getting some really horrible beats that are just beyond explanation here. I'm getting tired of it. Precisely why they're doing it that way, so that I will continue to write videos. And I think that my spiritual angels helped me be a smart person. I did really well in college, but and I had only one angel with me at the time. That was Roseanne Stelter. Um, that's within me. But these angels were out there. These spiritual angels were still out there. I think they were helping me be a smart person in college. I'm smarter than, well, my family's all pretty smart, but I would say I did probably better than most of them or all of them in college. I consider myself to be a pretty darn smart guy right now, and I think it's in part because I'm psychic. I have the wish gene, in part that I have spiritual angels helping me, and I just maybe have good DNA or something. And uh, but so I think being psychic can help you be smart.